Imagine waking up 5 years from now, opening your phone, and finding out that the asset no one takes seriously today has increased in value more than 15 times. While you were living life on autopilot, other people who watched videos like this one had the courage to take action, study, invest, and today they're reaping the rewards of a decision made before it was too late. What if I told you that this opportunity is happening right now, right in front of you, and that one of the greatest investment experts on the planet just issued a warning that could transform the way you handle your money? So go ahead and make some coffee, get comfortable, and enjoy every second of this video, because by the end, you'll be light years ahead of the majority. And hey, if you enjoy content like this and want to keep getting alerts like this one, take a second now to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot and motivates me to keep bringing you valuable information. The world is undergoing a silent transformation. Most people are still worried about inflation, interest rates, and daily news, while a small minority, the minority that studies and watches global trends, is positioning itself in assets with the potential to multiply capital aggressively. And it's not just me saying this. It's Ray Dalio himself, founder of the largest hedge fund on the planet, a man who has predicted crises, collapses, and historic turning points in the global economy. According to him, we are on the verge of a transition between two eras, the era of traditional investments and the era of exponential assets. Assets that grow not based on a linear economy, but on global adoption, innovation, and shifts in human behavior. And if you understand what that means, you already know we're talking about something big. Before I go deeper, a quick pause. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? If not, now's the perfect time. This might be the most important piece of content you'll watch this month. Ray Dalio made it very clear. The next 5 years will benefit those who understand 3 major shifts. First, the rise of disruptive technology. Second, the migration of value toward digital and alternative assets. Third, the gradual weakening of centralized systems that can't keep up with the pace of change. In simple terms, this means sectors like artificial intelligence, blockchain, clean energy, and solid digital assets won't just grow, they're already growing, quietly, outside the spotlight of mainstream media. And here's the thing, the biggest opportunities always appear in silence. When no one is talking about them. When everyone is still stuck in old paradigms. And when these opportunities finally explode, it's already too late. So do this. If this is already opening your mind, hit that like button now, because there's still a lot of important content coming up. For decades, big banks dictated the rules of the financial game. If you wanted to invest, take a loan, save, or just store your money, they were your go-to option. But that landscape is about to change. And those who realize this now might be one step ahead of the greatest wealth redistribution in the past 100 years. In the United States, there's a growing movement of decentralization, driven by technologies like DeFi, decentralized finance, and dollar-backed stablecoins. What does that mean in practice? It means more and more people are learning to escape high banking fees, red tape, and credit filters by using open, accessible technology. For young American investors, this represents a break from the traditional system, and an invitation to take full control over their own money. Imagine a world where you don't need a bank to grow your income. That world is already being born, and ignoring it could be very costly. AI is revolutionizing everything, from medicine to art. But what few people know is that it's also quietly transforming how money flows in the stock market. Automated investment platforms, predictive algorithms, and high-frequency trading bots are shifting the balance between risk and opportunity. In the US, young investors with little capital are already benefiting by using tools like ChatGPT to generate analysis, forecast trends, and even test strategies before putting them into practice. This democratization of access to technical and fundamental analysis gives regular investors an edge that once belonged only to large funds. And here's a warning. The next 5 years will separate those who know how to use AI from those who become dependent on it. Learning to master these tools today might be the difference between merely surviving financially or thriving. In the past, ETFs were mainly used to diversify portfolios safely. But today, they've become strategic tools for multiplying capital. In the US, thematic ETFs linked to sectors like renewable energy, robotics, semiconductors, biotechnology, and crypto assets have shown exponential growth potential. The key here is timing. Those who identify a rising sector before the boom are able to multiply their assets several times over. A real example is the ARK Innovation ETF, which between 2017 and 2021 experienced gains far above the S&P 500. Now, new versions of these ETFs are emerging focused on Web3, the metaverse, and American reindustrialization. Ignoring these movements is like closing your eyes while smart money shifts direction. For the young, curious, and connected investor, this is a rare opportunity to invest in the sectors that will shape the future. With the U.S. leading the energy transition, driven by the Inflation Reduction Act and billions of dollars in green subsidies, the renewable energy market has become a goldmine. But what most people don't realize is that the biggest profits aren't just in solar panels or wind turbines. They're in parallel ecosystems, battery recycling, energy efficiency in buildings, regenerative agriculture, and EV charging infrastructure. Sharp investors are eyeing smaller companies, startups listed on exchanges like Nasdaq, that are at the foundation of this transformation and still have undervalued stocks. Young Americans looking to multiply their wealth need to follow where institutional capital is flowing, and it's moving fast toward the green economy. This is the new gold. And it's already being mined. The Federal Reserve has already been testing the concept of a digital dollar, CBDC, and this could completely change how Americans store, send, and invest money. The digitization of the national currency will not only bring more efficiency and control, but it will also open doors to new forms of direct, instant, and intermediary-free investments. Imagine receiving your salary, investing in assets, and paying for products using just one app linked to your personal digital dollar. Fintech startups are already developing products to integrate with this new infrastructure. For young investors, this shift represents a chance to be on the front lines of a new financial order, where speed, transparency, and access matter more than ever. And those who understand this now will have the upper hand when the system is fully implemented. With the return of production chains to American territory, reshoring, hundreds of small and medium-sized companies are gaining prominence. And many of them are still invisible to the general public. We are talking about regional businesses that are benefiting directly from tax incentives and the demand for local production, especially in sectors like manufacturing, industrial technology, and internal logistics. These stocks, classified as small caps, have high potential for appreciation precisely because they are in a phase of accelerated growth. For the young investor in the U.S., this can be a unique chance to buy shares of expanding companies before big funds do it. It's like investing in a new Amazon, but before it became a giant. Forget the stereotypes of Wall Street investors. The new generation of multimillionaires in the United States doesn't wear suits and ties and doesn't spend the day in glass offices. They are at home, on laptops, running code, studying emerging markets, and creating startups with minimal structure. Many of them started with less than $1,000 and today control fortunes based on crypto assets, SaaS companies, and niche marketplaces. The secret: quick decision-making, high adaptability, and focus on innovation. What this new elite has understood is that the wealth of the future is not in inheritances or traditional bonds, but in acting before the masses, with vision and courage. And the best part, this path is still open for those who decide to start now. While most young investors focus on stocks and crypto, a more attentive group is looking at a sector the world will increasingly depend on: strategic commodities. Elements like lithium, cobalt, neodymium, and even rare earths are at the base of almost all technological innovation, from batteries to wind turbines. And guess who is moving to dominate this market? The United States. With incentives to local miners and partnerships with allied countries, the country wants to reduce its dependence on China. This opens space for investors to profit from companies still little known that explore or refine these materials. It's the kind of investment that mixes geopolitical security with multiplication potential, and could be the new silent gold of the coming years. Generating passive income has always been the dream of any investor. But now we are entering a new era, where it is possible to receive dollars every month, without relying on real estate or classic dividends. With digital assets that generate yield. DeFi platforms, staking of solid cryptocurrencies, and utility NFTs already allow this, in a decentralized way and with liquidity. Imagine earning 7%, 10%, or even 15% per year, in dollars, just for holding an asset in your portfolio. Young Americans who understand this new logic are building true digital cash flow machines. But, attention, you need to know what you're doing. With knowledge, this could be the biggest wealth generator of your decade. Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon. They are all already investing heavily in technologies involving blockchain, artificial intelligence, and digital assets. And behind these moves is the race to dominate the new global value standard. It's no longer about selling products. It's about controlling the infrastructures where value is created and transferred. Smaller companies that provide APIs, security layers, connectivity between networks, and protocols are being quietly acquired by these giants. For the American investor, this means one thing: knowing how to identify these companies before they become news. Investing in them now can generate multiplying profits when acquired by the big techs. Today, the biggest enemy of the investor is not inflation, nor the volatile market, it's distraction. The excess of digital stimuli, the search for quick gains, and constant comparison on social media are sabotaging long-term decisions. The new generation needs to relearn how to have focus, patience, and consistency. Discipline has become a superpower. In the United States, the number of young people creating minimalist routines, automating investments, and shielding their minds from market noise is growing. They understand that building wealth is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And whoever masters their mind first will master their money too. With the advance of central bank digital currencies in countries like China, India, and Brazil, and bilateral trade agreements outside the dollar, the role of the American currency is changing. This brings uncertainties, but also opportunities. Attentive investors are positioning themselves in assets that serve as strategic protection. Tokenized gold, stablecoins backed by real assets, fractional real estate outside the U.S., and shares of companies with international exposure. Instead of fearing the end of the dollar as the sole reserve of value, these investors are building a network of resilient assets. For beginners, this means diversifying not only how much they invest but where they invest. The new rule is clear: security is not what seems static, it is what adapts fastest. Now think with me, what if you could go back in time? Back in 1997, when Amazon was just an online bookstore. Or in 2009, when Bitcoin was worth a few cents. Or even in 2010, when the renewable energy market was just starting. The truth is you would have invested, right? But let's be honest, most people don't see these opportunities in the present. Because they don't come packaged in headlines. They come disguised as doubt, uncertainty, noise. And only those with vision can perceive the gold where others see only dirt. The good news? There's still time. We are still at the beginning of an adoption curve that will completely change the way money, energy, and information flow in the world. And if you want to be prepared for that, stay with me until the end, because I will show you how even with $100, you can already enter this game. And here comes another crucial point: mindset. Because it's no use knowing where the opportunities are if you're afraid to take the first step. Fear paralyzes. Fear makes you believe it's better to stay still, wait, see how it goes. But let me tell you a truth no one tells you. The biggest risk today is to remain still. The biggest risk is to ignore time. Because time is the only asset you will never recover. And in the world of investments, those who start earlier, even with little, are years ahead of those who only observe. So if you're watching this video so far, it's because there's something inside you wanting change. Wanting to evolve. Wanting more. And that's exactly why I invite you now to subscribe to the channel. Here you won't get promises. You will get knowledge, vision, and clarity. Subscribe now and turn on notifications, because the next weeks will be intense here. While you watch this video, the biggest funds in the world are reallocating billions towards new sectors. And it's not speculation. It's strategy. BlackRock, for example, is leading billion-dollar moves in digital assets and technology infrastructure. Other names like Fidelity, JP Morgan, and Morgan Stanley are positioning in areas once considered marginal. And why are they doing this? Because they already understand what's coming. And if you want to ride this wave too, you need to leave your comfort zone. You need to study, understand, and act. And you can start simple, little by little. The important thing is not to stay still. And one more thing, if this video is already making sense to you, leave a comment below with the word transformation, because I want to know who is really ready to level up. Let's recap. You don't need much money to start. You need vision, discipline, and a reliable source of information. You need to stop listening to those who have never invested a dime and start observing the moves of those years ahead. You need to use technology to your advantage, not against you. Because yes, there are assets today, available for less than $100, that are at the start of an exponential cycle. And you can be part of it. But only those prepared will benefit. And that preparation starts here. It starts with you deciding that you will no longer be a spectator but the protagonist of your own financial story. So, if you haven't liked yet, this is the moment. Every like strengthens this channel and helps this content reach more people who, like you, are seeking a life turnaround. And to close with a golden key, investing is like planting a tree. At first, it seems like nothing happens. You water, care, wait. And results don't come immediately. But over time, when the roots are strong, it grows, and grows continuously. The mistake most make is giving up before the first leaf sprouts. But you won't make that mistake. Because now you have clarity, direction, and, most importantly, vision. And those with vision are already ahead. If this video impacted you in any way, share it with someone who also needs to hear this. And remember, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell, and stay tuned for the next content. Opportunities don't wait. But those who are prepared, reap the rewards. See you in the next video.